Hello, my loved ones, gorgeous people. If you watched my most recent video, you'll discover that it cut out again. But since it was at the end, I didn't feel the need to go through and rehash everything. So that's where we left it. I'm using the Thelema Tarot because I absolutely adore it. And I love the feel of the cards in my hands. And I thought I'd also use the Fool's Wisdom by Sonia Coquette, which is just gorgeous. You wait until you see the Fool. And I also thought I'd use the White Sage Tarot, which is my most recent gift to self. I think it's important that we look after ourselves and treat ourselves like we would the people that we love. And if you would see something that you know they would like and buy it for them, then do the same thing for you. I mean, don't go stupid, obviously, but, you know, treat yourself. I had a really cool experience today. I was on the phone to my friend and I was looking for something. I knew I had it, but do you think I could remember where I'd put it? I'd seen it, I'd held it in my hands, I'm sure I put it with other things that were similar. And I remember because I'd been so excited when it had been delivered. Anyway, I got to the stage where I thought, oh, well, I've put it somewhere safe and I'm sure it'll show up somewhere at some time in some future bloody parallel universe. Anyway, I had to go out today to my favourite place in the whole wide world, which is Mogo, just in case you haven't heard me say it before now. And one more, please. As I went to the letterbox, there was a parcel there for me, so I picked it up and put it in the car, and when I got home, I opened it. Oh, what's in here? It was the thing I was looking for. It was the very thing that I was looking for earlier that I swore I had and couldn't find. So I thought that was pretty cool. Underneath we've got the Page of Cups and the Sun and Justice. Look at that. We've got some really nice things coming in, because after Justice we've got the Seven of Swords. So there's some justice coming in after some dodgy behaviour, some lies or stealing. And stealing it doesn't just have to be our belongings. It can be our self-worth if we let it get stolen. It can be our sense of belonging. So don't discard those other things. Anyway, Lady Justice is coming back in to even out the score a bit, and with that comes beautiful sunshine and a message of emotion. It could be an apology, it could be a request for forgiveness and explanation. Excuse me, now I'm doing something a bit different today. So we'll have a look at this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh dear. You do need some justice, don't you? So, Ten of Swords. That's where you're at the moment. You're feeling stabbed in the back, just exhausted, feeling like the thoughts won't stop. You just want to just stop. I'm done. I just want to sit down here give in, basically. But being a 10, that's the end of the cycle. So that's maybe where your Lady Justice is coming in to say, enough's enough. You know, pull the swords out of your back, or pull the swords out of her back, his back, and leave them alone for a while. So you might need a bit of a rest. If you're the one doing the stabbing, and this is where the light path gets interesting, because we have to face our own demons and our own darkness. Now, if you're the one, and this doesn't have to be venom or anything like that, but if you're the one talking behind someone's back and making them out to be really bad and complaining about them and, you know, generally wishing bad things on them, and it doesn't have to be really purely evil. It can be someone, an idiot that overtakes you and you think, geez, I hope there's a cop just over the road. That kind of thought process, if you're the one wishing that on somebody else, have another look at it. Ask yourself if that's really what you want to do. Do you really want to hang on to that kind of thought process, or do you want to let it go and put it down? So either way, whether this is you being just beaten with the venom stick, or whether that's you know, having a real good go at bashing someone behind their back, then it's a 10. So either way, it's time it was over and justice is coming. So next to that, what's coming is the King of Cups. And he's portrayed as emotionally distant, emotionally cold. It can be a female. They're portrayed as emotionally distant or cold. Whereas with this card, I don't see him that way. I see him as reserved, perhaps, very centered and emotionally mature. He can show his emotions, but they don't control him. He's very centered and looking. I like the way he's looking forward in this deck. And the cup doesn't seem heavy to him. It's not, you know, coming with provisos. It's just a genuine offer, or even a role model coming in. Someone that you can look to for emotional reassurance and strength. When I see this, I think of, I can't put it nicely, girls with daddy issues. And they constantly seek male attention or love or attachment because they don't realize this is what they're doing, but they just seek that male affection and reassurance that they are worthy and they are lovable. And quite often they will seek the wrong man. They will seek a man who will reinforce their innate subconscious beliefs that they are not worthy, and they pick people that will basically reinforce that for them. So when I see this man in this spread, I see someone who is worth seeking as an example. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. In fact, if you can relate to this story or this rhetoric that I'm speaking, I suggest you aren't ready for a romantic partner. So perhaps seek a father figure, someone that you can trust, someone who will treat you with respect and care and emotional maturity. That's who I see in this card. And if you're a man, seek someone like that anyway, because they can give you guidance and a really good example to follow. The issues that can't be ignored at the moment is the Tower. And I'm sorry to say, but the Tower can never be ignored. This is a moment coming that will basically shake the shit out of anything that needs to be dislodged. It can be old habits, negative self-talk, thinking you're not worthy of love. It can be the end to sabotaging thoughts, either by yourself or others. The Tower is not, I don't see the Tower moment as a bad thing. I never have. I've seen it as something I didn't particularly enjoy going through. But when I've looked back, it's been really, really worthwhile for me to go through a Tower moment. And they can be anything. So this is whatever you are going through at the moment cannot be ignored, and it is right now, if not now, very, very soon, going to happen. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It might be the Tower that's needed to get you out of the current cycle that you're in. So then we've got the beautiful Six of Swords. And this is representing the help you're going to get through the Tower moment. Now, the Six of Swords represents moving on, going from choppy waters to calmer waters, leaving shit behind, whether it be negative thoughts or attachments or beliefs. It's moving away from that. And that's what's going to help you at the moment. Now, whether it's somebody coming in to help you, literally help you move to smoother waters, or whether it's just you realizing that you are capable of putting these things down, not accepting these limiting beliefs or thoughts anymore, and not just capable of that, but capable of coping when you put them down. You see, quite often we know that we're thinking the wrong things, or not wrong, but, we need to update our self-talk and our self-belief. But we kind of sit there and go, well, if I put that down and realize that that's no good for me, what do I have to replace it? So that's when you sail your ship into the great unknown and have enough faith in yourself that you will work it out. It comes with an enormous amount of courage and self-belief to put things down, knowing they're unhealthy, and being okay with not having all the answers yet. Being okay with looking for new ways and testing out new ways and discovering new ways of seeing yourself and believing in yourself. That's when the light path gets fun and interesting. And when your curiosity picks up, it's like, oh, I want to know more. Now, the resolution of the situation is the Seven of Cups. Sometimes this card can represent too many choices. It can represent an illusion or a dream, you know, oh, wish upon a star. If I had 3 wishes, this is what I'd wish. And it can also represent so many options, but not knowing which one to pick and almost being afraid to pick one in case you get the snake bite. You're not sure enough of yourself yet to pick what's right for you, having looked at all of them. You're still here. You're still sailing out into the great unknown, which is very, very brave. So go you, but do it. Take the leap. And when you're here, because like I was saying before, you'll get to the stage where you go, well, okay, I've put that shit down. I don't believe that about myself anymore, but what the hell do I believe? That's where you're at. That's where you'll be at for a little while. So instead of grabbing all cups or just taking one, stand up and have a look in them. Have a look. Compare them. Which one works best for me? What would I like to pick up and add to my life? And what would I like to leave behind? What doesn't suit me? What do I want to believe about myself and what don't I want to believe anymore? Have a look, but don't stay sitting down stuck, because then you'll be back to the very beginning of this reading. So don't stay sitting down stuck. Anyway, since this is a very new beginning and a new journey and we're getting out of the 10 of Swords and we're moving on, let's see if our little Fool has anything to help us with, because, you know, this is the beginning of a journey and it's a bit of a shake-up. There's a bit of a Tower moment and there's a bit of an unsure moment, and we all know that the Fool is very good at either jumping off the deep end with very much faith in himself and that it's all going to be okay. There's 2. Or he's pretty good at not really paying much attention. So we've got the Sentimental Fool, and he is, oh God, they're gorgeous. He is saying, make life happen now, which kind of backs up what I've been saying. Don't stay here. You don't have to. There's nothing to say that what everybody's told you about yourself is true. So you don't have to. And don't be the Sentimental Fool, spending your life looking back going, why me? Why did they say this? Why did I have to grow up like that? Why can't I have that anymore? It doesn't have to just be a good sentimental. It can be unhealthy sentimental as well. So stop doing that. Thank you. Move on. And we've got the Petty Fool. I love it. Now, he's the Petty Fool. Petty people can be picky, or, you know, pick at the tiniest little thing. You'll say, I've got a chip in my fingernail, and someone will say, no, it's not in your nail, it's in the nail polish. They're petty. That's a petty comment. But in this situation, it's don't pull at the threads of, you know, I'm pretty good at this, but I'm okay at that, but. And that but is the thread that you just kind of pull to prove to yourself that you're not good enough or that you're not worthy. Now this is what this is saying. It's saying just stop it, basically. Cut that shit out. Perfect is, what is perfect? I mean, perfect to me is completely different to perfect to you. So none of us will ever be perfect, and thank God, because to me, perfect people would be very boring to be around. I like a good bit of spice. So when you find yourself pulling at the threads, or hearing the old voices come through, tell them to shut up and remind yourself that you are perfect as you are. You are perfectly imperfect just as you are. And yes, you have work to do. And yes, you have more learning to do. And that's okay. That's quite good. That shows a bit of go and a bit of forethought. Now I just want to have one little clarifier if we need it on this Seven of Cups. What can you tell us about the Seven of Cups? Have we got anything about the Seven of Cups? Page of Cups. There'll be a message in there. In one of these cups, there'll be a message. It could be to clear up some of the confusion. It could be to give you an idea of where to go next. But I think this is your message. In fact, I think it's just come through. Thank you, Paige. Here's the cards that you need. This is your message. Now, if you look, Justice, that's come out twice now. And Strength. So there's definitely some justice coming out. And it doesn't have to be fire and brimstone. It doesn't have to be God striking someone down with a bolt of lightning up their ass. It can be a very quiet justice. I love justice that is very quiet. And if you look at most justice cards, on the scale that's balanced is the heart and the feather. So your heart is as light as a feather. It means that you are no longer carrying around the weight of heartbreak or hurt or negative thinking or past actions, either by you or against you. It's not carrying that anymore. You've moved past it. You've pulled the wands out, the swords out, and you've moved past it. You've lightened up. And you've gained an awful lot of strength, inner wisdom, quiet power. And if you look here, it's a number 8, but it's also got the infinity sign. So the strength that you get from these tower moments, you have a choice. You always have a choice when you basically breathe. But in a tower moment, you have a very big choice. The choice is always yours. Do you hang on to it? You fall down, you get the shit shaken out of you for a moment, but once your bandages are off and your bruises have faded, do you either go, man, I'm never going through that again, onward and upward, and I'm climbing this hill even though it's bloody uncomfortable and I have to look at things I don't like looking at, I am out of here? Or do you go back and repair the tower and climb back up so that the same thing can happen again? If you choose to leave and take the unknown road and learn which things are best for you, the strength that you will get from that will be amazing, because it will lead you through the rest of your life and it will only be built on. Next time you come up against something, you will know that you can handle it. You might not like it, it might not be comfortable, but you will know that you can get through it. But the only way you can learn that is to be brave enough to try. Anyway, I am so hopeful this helps. And please let me know. If this resonates with you, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe if this resonates with you. Thank you, my loved ones. Hope you have a lovely day and week, and whenever you're watching this, I hope all good things come to you. Hugs, kisses.